emissions. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
When you or a loved one has been seriously injured, the final score matters.
Attorney Ed Robinson with Cannon and Dunphy.
Unexpected medical bills and wage loss may result in and stress. In such difficult times, some insurance companies will seek to offer you a quick settlement that will shortchange you in the end. Don't let the insurance company win. Instead, hire the experienced and dedicated team at Cannon and Dunphy. Results matter. Let us put our winning lineup of attorneys and staff to work for you.
Who handles the service and maintenance for your facility? Is it a Steamfitters Local 601 HVAC professional? If not, you might not be getting the best service. Our HVAC professionals undergo over 10,000 hours of rigorous training, 1,200 hours in the classroom, and 9,300 hours of hands-on experience. That's the kind of expertise you can count on. For superior service and cost-effective solutions, partner with the best. Visit steam601.org to view our list of signatory contractors. Steamfitters Local 601, keepers of the craft, powering Wisconsin.
Nursing students often endure long wait lists, but Concordia University Wisconsin assures entry into their nursing program upon acceptance. Broad exposure prepares CUW students for diverse nursing specialties with hands-on clinical experience in hospitals and other healthcare settings, leading to high job placement rates for graduates. CUW provides a faith-based education with a focus on holistic care. Graduates are prepared to address patients' physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. Your journey awaits at cuw.edu/bucks.
Get up, get out of here and gone!
Covering the crew all season long, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from the Annex Wealth Management Studio in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Here is your host, Alex Strouf.
Well, Jacob Mizorowski pitches tomorrow. That's exciting. Brewers lose game one of the 3-game tilt with the Chicago Cubs, the first place Chicago Cubs tonight. A final of 5-3. Cubs make that a 6.5 game lead now in the NL Central. 45-28 for Chicago. 39-35. Still 4 games over 500 for the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers Extra Innings right here on your home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strouf filling in for Dom Catronio tonight, who finally gets a well-deserved day off. I think this is his first off day of the season, so props to Dom, even though he's still working. He's just not available tonight. All right, lots to get into from this one. And look, I felt like that was a very winnable baseball game. Now, when you allow a big home run and then another home run, obviously it's going to be hard to win. But Brewers 1 of 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. They left 9 on base throughout the night. It just felt like a very winnable game. And the Brewers don't play the sexiest style of baseball. I'd argue maybe the Cubs do, right? They hit a lot of home runs. They have some really flashy plays defensively, as do the Brewers. But offensively, the Brewers do not play the sexiest style of baseball. But they've found ways to get it done the last 2 seasons under Pat Murphy's direction. And tonight just felt like another one they let slip. So certainly going to be a tough task to win the next 2 in Chicago and try to get a win in this series. Jerry Augustine will join us in about 10 minutes or so to break this thing down. Really excited to get Augie's thoughts on this one in this series. And as I mentioned, Jacob Mizorowski gets his first matchup with the Chicago Cubs tomorrow of his career, which obviously, rightfully so, a lot of buzz behind Mizorowski after an awesome debut last week. But it was the first matchup with the Cubs for Chad Patrick, the starter tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers, coming off of the debatably and probably worst start of his career just a couple of days ago against the Atlanta Braves, looking to bounce back. And, well, ultimately he will end with the loss tonight. Let's get into some of the highlights. This was a game of 2 things, at least from the Milwaukee side for me. It was the Ivy game, because I feel like the Ivy got involved a ton, and it was the Isaac Collins game. Let's dive into the highlights.
Ready for this? Out of here! This?
Brought it back! Ho, ho, ho!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
First inning was a fun one because back and forth these two teams went, right? Runners hitting the bags, just nobody getting across home plate. I believe it wasn't until the bottom of the fourth inning we finally had a 1-2-3 half inning. And there was a lot of action in this one. First score on the board comes from one Isaac Collins in what I am going to dub, despite the loss, the Isaac Collins game.
For Collins, who gets into one to right field. Deep at the track, it is gone! Isaac Collins, a two-run blast, and the Brewers on the board first. It's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, 2-0 was the early lead for Milwaukee in the top of the second inning, and it didn't take long to hear from Isaac Collins again in the bottom of the second inning, this time on defense.
2-2 pitch. This is a soft liner into left. Diving and making an incredible catch is Isaac Collins. Ranging in and to his left, he had a great first step, and he went into a head-first dive, and he took a hit away from Michael Busch.
Third inning, Christian Yelich in the top of the third hit a double. Guess what the double hit? The Ivy. Another extra base hit for the Brewers. Another extra base hit in this game. There was plenty of them in this game. Brewers unable to capitalize. Bottom of the third. Chad Patrick, couple of runners on, but able to get out of it.
Infield double play depth, and a pitch is grounded at third base. Could be two. Durbin to second. Terang to first. Got him. Double play. Scooped by Hoskins on the back end. Around the horn, they turn it. Inning over. Well, there's just what the doctor ordered.
There's what the doctor ordered indeed. Josh Mauer on the call on the Brewers Radio Network. Top of the fourth, Isaac Collins again, that time with a double. But again, the Brewers unable to capitalize. I mentioned it earlier, 1 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring positions. I also mentioned it before. It wasn't until the bottom of the fourth for the first 1-2-3 inning for either team in this game.
Patrick says okay to Contreras. Rocks into the windup, 1-2. Got him looking. Paint on the outside corner with a fastball. And it is the first 1-2-3 inning of the night for either side. Chad Patrick does it.
Chad Patrick finished 5 innings on the bump, allowed 6 hits and 4 runs. All of them earned, struck out 5 in the matchup. Well, he did allow 1 home run. That was the Seiya Suzuki, who became Seiya Suzuki with a 3-run shot.
Patrick's 1-0 pitch is a fly ball left field, deep. Collins back at the track. It is gone. A 3-run home run by Seiya Suzuki, and just like that, a 2-1 lead becomes a 4-2 deficit for the Crew.
I'm by no means a fan of the Cubs. In fact, I'm likely the opposite, but I got to give them credit. Good crowd on a Tuesday night there at Wrigley Field. Didn't take long for the Brewers to strike back, though. Jory Ortiz, who's got the bat going as of late, keeps it going in Chicago tonight.
0-2 pitch is a liner down the left field line. That's going to get down for a base hit. Terang around third. He's going to score easily. And it's an RBI single for Joey Ortiz. The Brewers answer here in the top of the 6th. It's a 4-3 Cubs lead.
It's stuck at 4-3 for quite a while, and, well, they needed some heroics defensively. The Gold Glover, Sal Frelick, making a play on defense.
1 out, 2-0. Tucker lines one deep to right. Frelick's going back. He's onto the track, reaching out over the shoulder. Sal caught it. About 2 steps in front of the right field fence, and that is how the Brewers finally retire Kyle Tucker tonight. A fly ball almost to the right field wall.
Yeah, finally retire Kyle Tucker. Took until the 7th inning. He's a good player. Proved it again tonight. That helped a 1-2-3 inning for Rob Zastrinsky in his inning tonight.
3-2 again. Got him looking. Wow, right on the outside corner. A cut fastball from Zastryzny, and Suzuki is caught with the bat on his shoulders. 3rd time he has struck out tonight. Ortho ASAP. Start healing faster. Meet with a specialist today. Learn more at orthowisconsin.com. All right, Rob Z.
All right, Rob Z, indeed. Nice showing from him in the inning he pitched tonight. Brewers were still within 1. Top of the 8th inning. Well, I mentioned it. I mean, both of these teams got some pretty good young players. One of them for the Cubs, 23-year-old phenom Pete Crow Armstrong. Top of the 8th inning, Bryce Terang seemingly had an extra base hit. I would make the case only one center fielder in the league could make the play that Pete Crow Armstrong made as he laid out and robbed Bryce Terang of what would have been an extra base hit. Crow Armstrong then led off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Cubs, and well,
Zastryzny stays on the mound. First pitch swinging. He hits a high fly ball out to right, and it is gone. And in the last 5 minutes, Pete Crow Armstrong has put his stamp on this game. It is 5-3 Cubs.
5-3 Cubs. Brewers had a chance. Jackson Chourio, in fact, hitting a double to the top of the ivy. Really almost was a home run, was only a double. Contreras ultimately flies out. It ends the game. Cubs win 5-3.
Valencia brings home the pitch, and Contreras a fly ball into center. This is playable for Pete Crow Armstrong, calling everybody off. Now pushing him back a couple of steps. He makes the catch. And the game is over. Cubs take game 1 by a final score of 5-3 here at Wrigley Field.
Cubs win game 1 of this 3-game tilt between the Cubs and the Brewers. The Brewers, for now, remain in second place in the NL Central, but it's a 6.5-game deficit. They will look to get their lick back tomorrow in game 2. And as we mentioned, the young phenom, Jacob Misiorowski, will be on the mound for the Crew. Speaking of phenoms, Jerry Augustine going to join us coming up next to break this one down. It felt like a winnable game. I wonder if Augie agrees with me on that. And we'll recap and obviously preview a little bit of what's to come the rest of this series. The biggest series of the year thus far for Milwaukee, who's been scolding hot as of lately, but ultimately fall tonight to the rival Chicago Cubs, a final of 5-3. Jerry Augustine joins us coming up next. Brewers Extra Innings right here on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99. Feeds 5 to 8 people and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
It's not summer in Milwaukee without baseball and live music. Get the best of both when the Brewers take on the Rockies, featuring a post-game concert by Nelly June 27th and a Pat Murphy bobble on the 28th. Get your tickets at Brewers.com.
Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field so we can respond ultra quickly to your emergency AC needs. When you call Quality for emergency AC service, you can count on a swift response to get the job done right away. So if the heat's got you to the point where it's just too hot to handle, call Quality and we'll get you the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow-up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers fall to the Chicago Cubs tonight, a final of 5-3. Crew now 39-35 on the season, 6.5 games back of the first place Cubs. Hey, Milwaukee, looking for a banking partner that truly understands your business needs? Look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit it out of the park every single time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Brewers Extra Innings, 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strouf in for Dom Katrina. Petronio tonight. And I'm just excited to prove to people that Kewanee, Wisconsin, and Denmark, Wisconsin can get along. Jerry Augustine joins me now on Brewers Extra Innings. Jerry, good to talk with you, my friend. Obviously, a tough one tonight for the Crew. Just give me your takeaways on this one, because to me, it felt like a winnable game.
I tell you what, when you look at the 2025 season and the games that these two teams have played, I think you could say that about every game that's been played. And you look at them, both teams have gone out and, they come up with some key hits at times. Tonight it was Suzuki with the big home run, and then right after that, Crow Armstrong in the eighth inning coming up with the big home run. But it was the pitching. Pitching kept both teams in the ball game. It came down to bullpens, some key plays. You saw some great plays in the defense on both sides. It's each one of these games has something unique about it. But when you look at it, each and every game that they have played, it could have gone every way. And I thought tonight the Brewers were sitting in a pretty good position. I thought Patrick was throwing the ball really well, but he made the mistake in that when you look in that fifth inning, to walk the half and got him in a little bit of trouble, and Suzuki got a pitch he could hit and drove the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah, I thought Patrick was solid as well outside of what you just mentioned. But it seems like he, I think a week and a half ago, Jerry, we probably could have made a decent case that Chad Patrick could have been a front runner for the Brewers All-Star, but the last two outings for him, not as great as it was prior to maybe, past a week and a half ago. But overall, Patrick been very good for this team and pretty good tonight overall. What'd you make of Chad Patrick's start?
I thought he threw the ball really well. When you look at what he does, he pitched 5 innings, and you see what he did out on the mound. I thought he threw the ball pretty well. He got himself in a little bit of trouble. He had 74 pitches, 51 of them strikes. That's a pretty good ratio. And
sure
I thought he located the ball when he had to real well. It's just that, he let the couple pitches get away in situations. I thought when you look at what the pitch that Shaw hit in the second inning, I thought Shaw did a nice job of taking the ball and hitting the ball where it was pitched. He got a pitch over the middle of the plate, but I thought he threw the ball really well. And it just got in a situation where that walk to half really kind of changed that inning and got a little bit of momentum there for the Cubs, and then Suzuki got a pitch down and in where he could handle. But other than that, I thought he threw the ball very well.
I hate to, throw a joke in the middle of this, Jerry, but was the Ivy especially annoying tonight? I felt like it played such a role in tonight's game, didn't it?
It is. Well, that's why they have it.
I guess so.
It's something really special, and it does play. It does have a lot to do with the games that it plays. Something about Wrigley Field that's so special about Wrigley Field, and it did. It really did. It's a unique place to play. When you play there, depending on the wind, you can get days when the wind's blowing in, you can hit it a ton, it'll never get to the Ivy. But then there's days when it's not, you can drive the ball out of the ballpark. But it's a really a great place to play. One of the best places to play in baseball. It's with all the history and everything you want to do with Wrigley Field. But tonight I thought was a real typical 2025 Brewer Cub game, and could have gone either way. And it just so happened today went for the Cubs.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Jerry Augustine, Alex Strouf with you. Brewers Extra Innings on 620 WTMJ. Isaac Collins, really nice night for him. Seems like he's been coming on lately, Augie.
I really like what he is doing. You take a young man who's getting an opportunity right from the beginning, made the team because there was some injuries, and he got an opportunity to make the team, and he's taken advantage of it. And you look at what he's done, not only with what he's done in the field. I think he's made some great plays. He gets great jumps on the ball. He makes good throws. He's heads up when he gets the ball on the defensive side of it. But, boy, on the offensive side, he has really changed. Being a switch hitter, being to go up and taking pitches that he has taken and swinging the bat like he has, especially over the last 2 weeks. He's been really good. And tonight came up with the big home run. He's been swinging the bat. He's a real plus for this ball club, and he's really done a nice job, and he's making himself a nice major league ball player by being able to go up and helping the Brewers and being one of those outfielders that when they have the injuries, you can put him out there and he's going to do a good job for you.
2 for 4 tonight for Isaac Collins, including that 2-run homer in the top of the second inning and a pretty nice play defensively, which we ran through in the highlights before. On the Cubs side, I know you mentioned his name, but man, is he good on both sides. Pete Crow Armstrong, he makes that amazing catch in the 8th. He has the leadoff home run in the bottom of the 8th to effectively seal this game for the Cubs. He is one of the best young, bright stars in Major League Baseball. I hate giving the Cubs credit, but man, is he good, Augie.
Yeah, he's really. I think what is he like 6 for 14 against the Cubs against the Brewers this year? But you see what he's done. You see where he was last year. Last year, it seemed like he was starting to find himself. We all know that he's an excellent outfielder. He's got great speed. He's one of the best center fielders in all of baseball. But what could he do with the bat? And this year, he has really come into his own, leading the Cubs now with home runs. After he hit the home run, I think he's one ahead of Suzuki. But, you know, you look at guys that step up and be a real plus for your team. And I think when you look at the Cubs, Crow Armstrong is one of those guys that really makes this team a lot better.
But what was the biggest downfall tonight? It felt like the top of the order wasn't great. Sal 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Churria 1 for 5. Contreras was solid. He was 2 for 4. And then Yelich in the 4 spot was 1 for 4 tonight with 2 strikeouts as well. Felt like if they could have gotten going, this would have been a game the Brewers won, but just not enough output from the top of the order.
I think there's some guys who you that pitch against you just have a knack of getting you out anytime you get in trouble. When you look at what did they have, like 3 or 4 doubles in the first 4 or 5 hits that they had beside the home run, and they just couldn't get guys over. And I tell you what, I thought Ben Brown tonight made some really good pitches when he had to. I thought Patrick threw the ball, kept the Brewers in the game. I thought it was a nice little battle going on, but it just seems like Ben Brown, every time we get a guy in scoring position or get a guy in a situation where he can make something happen, he made us some really good pitches. And you look at tonight, I think when you look at one stat for tonight makes a difference in the ball game. It was the Brewers at runners in scoring position being 1 for 10.
Yep.
Getting a couple of base hits right in those situations could have changed the game for sure.
I totally agree with you, Jerry Augustine. Alex Strouf hanging out with you. Brewers Extra Innings here on WTMJ. These teams are similar in a few ways, right? I feel like they have multiple young stars that can just be game changers for them. They both love running the bases. They're two. I think they're the top 2 teams, in fact, in stolen bases in the National League. But there is one very big difference. The Cubs are top 5 in the league in home runs hit. The Brewers are bottom 6 in the league in home runs hit, and ultimately 2 home runs versus 1 tonight. And I don't think you necessarily need to be a home run heavy team to be a contender. I think the Brewers proved that last year when they won the NL Central. But that was ultimately the biggest factor tonight. Suzuki, you keep mentioning it, that 3-run shot early in this game was ultimately the game changer. It'd be nice to have the heavy bats, Jerry, but it was all Cubs in that department.
Well, I think when you look at the Cubs team, they're built around, they got some power. When you look at their batting order, they're really built around Happ, Tucker, Suzuki, Crow Armstrong, and Swanson. When you look at those are the guys. I know Horner down at the bottom of the lineup is a good offensive player who doesn't strike out a lot. But that's what they're built on power. They're built on playing the way you can in Wrigley Field. But the Brewers are a little bit different. They're the type of team that, you know what, they're built to get guys on base. And when you get guys on base, you put the ball in play, and that's when the Brewers are successful. And I thought tonight the difference was they just couldn't put the ball in play at times when they had opportunities. Runner on first, runners on second, first and second, nobody else. Getting that runner over. You get the run over, it just puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, and the Brewers couldn't do that tonight. Teams built a little differently, and yes, can the Brewers hit home runs? Sure, they can hit home runs. But they're built around getting on base and manufacturing runs more than they are like the Cubs, who's more of a home run hitting ball club.
But 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight, unable to manufacture enough runs as the Brewers fall to the Cubs 5-3. Game 1 of this 3-game series at Wrigley Field. Game 2, of course, tomorrow. Jerry Augustine stays with me. We roll on right after this. It's Brewers Extra Innings, 620 WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano from Wisconsin's Morning News. It's baseball season, which means Brewers 360 is back every day at 8:40. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Every day, all season long, we're joined exclusively by Brewers guests, including manager Pat Murphy and more. So Murphy, as we're wrapping up our interview.
Great talking. We really enjoyed it. Okay.
I was like, you did? Is he just in a good mood, or what'd y'all do to Murph?
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings. I'm Alex Strouf in for Dom Catronio tonight. Jerry Augustine, the doctor of pitching, with me here on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. You can always watch this show live on YouTube, WTMJ.com, and the WTMJ mobile app. Tom on the YouTube stream just chimes in, I hate losing to the Cubs. Augie, I feel like we could agree with Tom on that one.
I think it's, everybody talks about the Brewers Cubs, and at one time they said, it's not really a rivalry. They're totally wrong. It's a rivalry, and it's a great rivalry. And now when Craig has gone from Milwaukee down there, and you got Murph, who he played for in Notre Dame, this is a rivalry, and there's intensity, and you can see the intensity in tonight's game, and I enjoy it. I love it. I think the Brewers Cubs are great games to watch. When they play, it's always special, and it takes on just a little bit of different look, a little bit different emphasis on the season when those two teams play, and we got 2 games left. Hope we can turn around the next 2 games, but it's always fun to watch the Brewers and the Cubs.
Yeah, we'll get to tomorrow's game in just a second, Augie, but I think just the context you just provided is so important, right? And by no means am I trying to age you, but you've been around this game a long time, Jerry. For this series, this matchup, Cubs-Brewers, to have the amount of buzz and the big game feel that it always does, especially the last half decade plus, and really, as you mentioned, rejuvenated and reignited with Craig Counsell now managing the Cubs. It's just cool to be a part of a series where it feels this big. The Brewers are relevant enough where it's the big city team, the Cubs, who for many years were much we're very good. Obviously, we saw them less than a decade ago win a World Series. It's awesome to have these two teams go head to head, and you go, wow, that's a big time matchup right there. It's very cool.
Yeah, sure. It was so neat. Last year you saw the way the Brewers played. From start to finish, they played so well. Murph was the manager of the year, and Cousins going down. And they struggled at the end. They were close coming up into September, just couldn't hold on it. But they go and make some moves this winter. And the intensity was coming right from the beginning, spring training. This division, you talk about a lot about the Cardinals and the Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds are all teams that are trying to do something special. But when you look at this division, a lot of times it's about the Cubs and the Brewers, and that makes it really special. And the games that we've had so far this year, they've been really close, and it's gone with pitching. And pitching and defense have been a primary part of what team wins each game. But you know what? It comes up to who can swing the bat, who can do those special things. Tonight the Cubs did it, and they won the ballgame.
No doubt about that. Jerry Augustine with me here, Brewers Extra Innings. And I imagine it's going to be more of the same the next 2 days at Wrigley Field. Brewers 6.5 games back of the Cubs. All right, let's get into tomorrow because I think everybody, rightfully so, very excited for what's to come tomorrow as Jacob Misiorowski on the mound, game 2 of this series for Milwaukee. Jerry, I heard you last week over on our sister station, ESPN Milwaukee, talking with Steve the Homer True about his debut and how impressive it was. And impressive might not even do it justice of how good it was for Jacob Misiorowski. But his first game against the rival Cubs, that certainly some big game feel. What do you expect out of Miz tomorrow?
I expect him pretty much to go back. And, the one thing that was impressive, and you look at the Brewers, what they took so long. Everybody was saying, well, why isn't Misiorowski up here? He's been doing great. He throws 102 miles an hour. But there was that learning aptitude that you got to have when you get to the big leagues. And, his situation was that every once in a while he gets in that little groove or whatever you want to call it where he can't throw strikes. He walks a few guys and gets himself in trouble and makes a bad pitch. But I was really impressed his first time out. The way he was on the mound, the way he approached the game, the way he utilized the game. Anytime he got himself in a little trouble, you saw me backed himself off the game, slowed the game down, really got some patience, went up and did what he does best, throwing strikes. And even more impressive when you look at some of the strikeouts he had. He had a strikeout with every one of his pitches, located him very well, was throwing him on a consistent basis. So I think it just sets a stage where he's just excited about it. I think once he gets in the game, you get to play the Cubs. It's one of the things that you get excited as a player when you hear Brewers, Cubs, and you're a Brewer. So I think tomorrow's going to be really exciting for him. I'm expecting to go out there and pitch a really good ball game.
I do too. I mean, after the debut last week, how can you not? 5 innings pitched, no hits, 5 strikeouts, and 4 walks for Misiorowski in his debut last week. But you mentioned some of the control issues. Obviously, he's got the unbelievable speed, something we've never seen in Milwaukee, but tends to walk a few guys. How long do you think that takes for a guy to really get that under control and get rid of that bugaboo? I know they feel like he's worked it out to a point where they were comfortable calling him up and bringing him to the big leagues, but still something he obviously needs to work on.
It's an educational process. We talk about young pitchers who have what makes up a pitcher and then gets them to the big leagues and how do you utilize him? Well, you take a guy like Misiorowski and the physical part, he does that. He's got all the toys. He's got all the pitches. He can throw his breaking ball. Now he even threw a couple of changeups here last week where he could throw the ball very, very well. But it's that educational part, that part about going on the game, going out there and being able to step back, slow the game down, and when you have to go out and you make a good pitch. And pitching comes with education, and education in the game is by going out, getting ahead of hitters, and being able to use all his pitches. And I thought his first time out, he did an excellent job at that. It could have been in a couple of situations where could have got out of line a little bit, but he backed off, slowed the game down, went up, and did exactly what he needed to do, and that's make a good pitch. And he made good pitches with all his pitches, and he locates the ball very well. And I think as the season goes along, he's just getting better and better with the confidence he has with each game he goes out there.
Talk about an educational process. That's what you get when you talk to Jerry Augustine here on Brewers Extra Innings. Jerry, appreciate the time and the insight. As always, my friend, look forward to you and Dom getting back after it later this week.
Yeah, we got 2 more games on there, and you think you got Miz going tomorrow and Freddie Peralta on the following day. I tell you, things look okay for the Brewers. They're going to be fun to watch. It'll be a typical Brewers and Cubs series, so it's going to be fun. Hopefully, the Brewers can win 2 games and win the series.
Absolutely right. I mean, you've got Miz, and then you've got Freddie Fastball. I feel like, you feel probably pretty good if you're a Brewers fan about those 2 guys the next 2 days. That's the great Jerry Augustine with us here on Brewers Extra Innings. Coming up next, I will give my player of the game, which is presented by the International Autos Group. Will it be a Cub? Will it be a Brewer? We'll all find out together. More Brewers Extra Innings right after this.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. We carry the largest in-stock selection of Hunter ceiling fans. They provide consistent comfort all year round and also help reduce energy costs. Right now, save big on Hunter ceiling fans when you shop at Menards. View our entire selection of Hunter ceiling fans today on Menards.com. Plus our weekly flyer with plenty more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strouf in for Dom Catrone tonight as the Brewers fall to the Cubs, a final of 5-3. The Brewers now 39-35 on this season. They're 6.5 games back of Chicago, first place team. They get back at it tomorrow night. Jacob Mizorowski will be on the mound for the Crew, his second start in the big leagues. I want to open up the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line before we get to the player of the game presented by International Autos Group. I want to know how Brewers fans are feeling because I see some of the comments rolling in on YouTube. Tom saying, I hate losing to the Cubs. Nick saying, amen, Tom. Charles says, I hear you on that. And then you've got some Cubs fans in the YouTube chat trolling, as they do. And by the way, you can always watch the show streaming live on YouTube, WTMJ.com, and WTMJ mobile app. Just search WTMJ on YouTube. It'll be the first result that pops up for you there. I see Doug already chiming in on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Again, that number, 855-616-1620. Doug says, not good to lose the first game of the series. It's a big hole now. 3 runs will not beat the Cubs. The bottom of the lineup did better than the middle again. We just talked to Jerry Augustine about that. You know, I thought Contreras was good offensively, but other than that, yeah, I agree with you. You know, it was tough, but obviously Isaac Collins, I think he was in the 6th spot tonight. He was really good. Bryce Terang was solid. You know, he got robbed in that 8th inning from PCA of another extra base hit. And obviously Ortiz with the RBI in the 9th spot. So the backside of the lineup was actually really solid tonight for the Brewers in the loss, but ultimately not enough as the Brewers fall 5-3. Tonight's player of the game is brought to you by International Autos Group. Just like our MVP, you can drive into summer in style and save up to $10,000 on in-stock BMWs, Audis, Mercedes-Benz, and more. No tariffs, just huge savings. Visit iamilwaukee.com. That's iamilwaukee.com. International Autos Group's, where ordinary needs to be extraordinary. Well, for the Brewers, I think I got to give the player of the game to Isaac Collins. And for some reason, the audio isn't working, so we'll try that again. Isaac Collins. Love when technology works around here. Isaac Collins, big second inning, but a big night overall for him. A 2-run home run in the top of the second inning. Let's try that one more time. There we go.
Collins, who gets into one to right field. Deep at the track. It is gone! Isaac Collins, a 2-run blast, and the Brewers on the board first. It's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Did it on offense, and just a couple minutes later, doing it on defense.
2-2 pitch. This is a soft liner into left. Diving and making an incredible catch is Isaac Collins. ranging in and to his left. He had a great first step, and he went into a head-first dive, and he took a hit away from Michael Busch.
Lane Grindle on the call on the Brewers Radio Network. Yeah, really nice night for Isaac Collins. We talked with Jerry Augustine about him a little bit. It seems like he's really come on both sides of the ball as of late. He was 2 for 4 tonight with the 2-run home run. Obviously, the 2 RBI as well. Only 1 strikeout, but I thought he was really good out of the 6th spot and obviously gave the Brewers an early lead, which they ultimately ended up losing when Seiya Suzuki hit that 3-run home run in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brewers fall 5-3 tonight to the Cubs, but I'm still feeling optimistic about the remainder of this series. I will tell you why, and we will hear from you on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. If you need to vent away. If you feel optimistic like I do, optimize away. Would love to hear from you on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. My optimism still existent with 2 games left in the series. I'll tell you why next. It's Brewers Extra Innings, 620 WTMJ.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow-up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings with you on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strouf, hanging out with you from the Annex Wealth Management Studio. And for Dom Catronio tonight, he is back with you tomorrow. Quick business trip for Dom. Always an honor to sit in for him. Hey, since 1912, Siders has been your go-to for home comfort. Through the end of June, take $10 off your AC tune-up. Call Sider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical or schedule online at Sider.com. That's SEIDER.com, Sider.com. Brewers fall to the Cubs, game 1 of 3 in Chicago this week. Look, it was, again, and I've said this every segment so far tonight, this felt like a game the Brewers should have won. They go 1 for 10 offensively with runners in scoring position. The only hit was the RBI from Joey Ortiz in the top of the 6th inning. That was the only hit the Brewers had of the 10 opportunities with runners in scoring position. Obviously, the math then tells you they left 9 on. Yeah, not great. But obviously, look, the Cubs are top 5 in the league for home runs. They hit 2 tonight. The wind, by the way, I read this, and it was fascinating. It was a stat earlier today from Jesse Rogers of ESPN. He said this: the Cubs and Brewers will meet for 3 games this week at Wrigley Field, and in Game 1, the wind will be blowing out to center. It'll mark just the 5th time this season it has blown out to center. That makes a huge difference in run scoring here In the previous 4 games with the wind blowing out, the teams averaged 17 runs per game. Did not get that tonight, just 8 tonight between the Brewers and the Cubs, and that's a credit to both of the guys on the mound. I thought both pitchers tonight were really, really good for the most part. Chad Patrick, I thought, had an all right night, especially early. I thought he was good. Obviously, that big 3-run shot from Suzuki hurt, but all in all, he had a pretty good night. 6 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, and 4 runs. They were all earned. On the other side, it was Ben Brown for the Cubs tonight. He was solid too. 6 hits he allowed in 5 innings of work, struck out 5, allowed 2 runs, and that was the home run from Isaac Collins, which we mentioned earlier. So 2 games left in this rendition of the series between the Brewers and the Cubs, who see each other pretty much once a month the rest of the season, outside of, I don't believe they play in September. But 2 games left in this one. Tomorrow you've got Jacob Misiorowski on the mound. Thursday matinee game, 1:20 first pitch on Thursday. You've got Freddie Peralta on the mound. And if that does anything, I think it should give you confidence defensively. The Cubs are one of the best teams at hitting the baseball in the league. Whether you're looking at average, home runs, hits, whatever you look at, they're one of the best teams at that. But I think what you have discovered with Jacob Misiorowski through one start is that he is terrific, right? He throws smoke. He throws the ball faster than anybody in Brewers history. He just needs to get a little bit of control on it. But as Jerry Augustine mentioned earlier, that's an educational process, right? You're only going to get better at that through reps. And I thought game 1 last week, 5 innings, obviously left early with the cramp / ankle / whatever. He's fine. But leaves after 5 innings, no hit 5 innings. I think that he's just going to be hungry. Obviously, he's hungry as a guy who just got called up to the show, but I think he's going to be hungry to show that was not a fluke. That's who Jacob Misiorowski is. So you're confident with him on the mound tomorrow. And Freddie Peralta's been awesome. He's going to be an all-star. And what he brings Thursday, hopefully in a rubber match, with the series on the line, that's whose hand you want the ball in, is Freddie Peralta's. So from a pitching perspective, you feel great about where the Brewers are at. They didn't use Trevor McGill tonight. They didn't use Abner Uribe tonight. Those guys have fresh arms after a day off yesterday, and then again, obviously today, no action for either of those guys. So I feel really good about the Brewers the next 2 days. They just got to get those bats going a little bit. So hopefully, according to Jesse Rogers, that wind is blowing out to center. We will hear from the skip coming up next, Pat Murphy and his post-game comments. And we'll try to give a play of the game. If we didn't already give it to Isaac Collins, we'll try to do that as well on the other side. More of this ahead. I'm Alex Strouf hanging out with you. It's Brewers Extra Innings, 620 WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scavini for QC Kinetics. Big focus in America today on your health, and you're determined to look beyond pills and steroids and surgery to feel your best, right? I want to talk to the person who's in pain right now, or maybe it's someone you love. I've got chronic elbow pain. Maybe someone you love is dealing with that issue. You've done everything they told you to do. The pain just comes back. You're exhausted, but you don't give up. You want to meet someone who can fix that for you? Let's meet with Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her team. They'll explain how their regenerative treatments take your body's own healing power and help restore your damaged tissue. These are well-respected protocols that include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments. QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics has helped tens of thousands of people, so many of them right here in Milwaukee. No masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
With you for about another 12 or so minutes. Brewers Extra Innings with you until 11 o'clock tonight. I'm Alex Strouf with you from the Innings Wealth Management Studio in downtown Milwaukee, reacting to the Brewers' loss 5-3 tonight at Wrigley Field to the Chicago Cubs. Bill and Madison chiming in on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, which you can get your thoughts in on as well. 855-616-1620 is the phone number, 855-616-1620. Bill says, how many runners did our big money players batting 4th and 5th leave on base? What is Hoskins hitting for the month of June? You're not going to win many games scoring 3 runs. That's Bill in Madison. And listen, Bill, I'm with you, man. We referenced the YouTube comment earlier. I hate losing to the Cubs. It feels like losing to the Bears when the Packers do it, or the Pacers now for the Bucks, or, the list goes on, right? Minnesota football beating Wisconsin football. It just sucks to lose to your rival. I hate it. But Bill makes a fair point tonight. Christian Yelich, 1 of 4, batting 4th. 2 strikeouts. Rhys Hoskins, 0 for 2, with a walk and 2 strikeouts tonight in the 4 and 5 spots. Not going to win a lot of games scoring 3 runs, especially against a really good Cubs team. Let's hear from the Skip. This segment is brought to you by Surfside, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade vodka paired perfectly with a day at the ballpark. Stocked all season long at American Family Field. That is Surfside. Pat Murphy following the 5-3 loss to the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field tonight.
Yeah, it was a good game. A lot of great defensive plays, both ends. They hit in the clutch. They did some clutch hitting. Suzuki's homer changed the game. But I'm proud of our guys. We did some good things. We didn't necessarily hit in big situations, but leaving 10 guys on base or 9, whatever it was, and but credit to their pitching staff and credit to their defense. Did a great job, and they got a great lineup. I thought Chad Patrick did a nice job. He had a little struggle in the 5th there, 3rd time around, but I thought Mears and Rob Z, at least for the first inning, and Anderson were really good. So a lot of positives from it. A lot of good things tonight. So I'll stick with that right now.
In that 5th, was Rob Z warming to maybe come in for Tucker?
Yeah. It's just 57 pitches for Patrick. If he had 1 out, the Hap AB was a really close walk. If you look at a couple real close pitches, and Tucker's ball, that's caught. You know what I mean? It can be caught. So he hit it hard, but he hit it up in the air, and it can be caught. So with the wind not helping it, it's caught. So I thought he did a nice job. The next at bat, the momentum had changed then, but yeah, 57 pitches. I wasn't ready to. He needs to work out of that. He needs to work out of that. But Rob Z was, in case there was 2 men on, nobody out. We bring Rob Z in for Tucker.
How much is that? Just like you said, for Chad to go through that experience of 3rd time through and work out of.
For a rookie pitcher to do that, that's we learned something there. He made good. He got the first guy out. He made good pitches on Hap. Didn't get it. Ball 4, and then Tucker's ball on any other normal night is a great swing, but it's caught. And then that could easily have been 1, 2, 3 innings. That wasn't, but I thought Chad competed and gave us big situation. Did a nice job.
If Tucker wasn't like a reverse splits or just like a no splits guy, does that maybe make that decision different, or was the pitch count just so low?
The pitch count was low, and he's a great hitter. He's one of the great hitters in the game right now. So you're not going to take your starter out with a man on first and 1 out. And again, ball's caught on a normal night. So I think he was 90. What he hit at 96.
96 or 97.
Yeah. So again, I don't regret that at all. He didn't make the right pitch to Suzuki, but credit Suzuki for hunting that and going and getting it. So no, I don't second guess taking out my starter in that situation, and it was good for him to go through it.
What did you think of the way Collins
his one bat today.
Oh,
His first multi-extra base hit game.
Yeah, I mean, his first 2 at-bats were fantastic. You know what I mean? I thought they did a really nice job breaking ball coming into him, and he hammered it, and then next time up, same thing, hit a ball against the fence, and, you know, happy for him. You know, he played great defense, too.
What do you attribute the 1 for 10 with scoring runners in scoring position to? Is it your guys trying to press? Is it what they were doing on the mound?
Oh, I don't. That can happen in any. You look at the box scores tonight. If you look at 15 box scores, there's going to be 6 teams that are something like that. You know what I mean? That's the difference in the game. You got to hit with guys in scoring position, and we didn't. But again, there's Joey Ortiz hits a line drive to left. Kid makes a great play. You know, Terang hits a ball in the gap. Kid makes a 5% catch. You know, that happens. You know, Yelly hits a ball that misses a homer by a few feet, but on a normal day, it might not be there. You know? So, yeah, that's Churio at the end. You know, misses a homer by a couple feet. So, you know, that's part of baseball. But you attribute not hitting in scoring position, you can make a thing of it or something. But it's if they're poor at bats. You know, if they're poor at bats.
It's not summer in Milwaukee without baseball and live music. Get the best of both when the Brewers take on the Rockies, featuring a post-game concert by Nelly June 27th and a Pat Murphy bobble on the 28th. Get your tickets at Brewers.com.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey, John Mercure here. Colders is kicking off summer with a 3-day flash sale. That means 3 days of huge savings on furniture, appliances, and mattresses. You don't want to miss out on this exclusive limited-time sale at Colders. From June 17th to June 19th, stack your discounts store-wide. Save 60% on furniture and mattresses, plus take an extra 10% off. That's 60 off plus 10 off on sofas, sectionals, dining sets, outdoor furniture, mattresses, and more. Don't forget about appliances. Save an extra 5% on appliances. Colders guarantees the best price in kitchen and laundry appliances from all your favorite brands like KitchenAid, Samsung, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, and more. I know I've shopped at Colders just recently. Don't miss out on Colders' 3-day flash sale, only from June 17th to the 19th. Stop by one of their showrooms in West Dallas, Oak Creek, Delafield, or Grafton. They've got the best showrooms and the best sales staff. Or shop online at Colders.com.
Step up to quality furniture. Get more for your money at Colders.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Wrap it up, Brewers Extra Innings. On your home with the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strouf in for Dom Catronio tonight. He'll be back with you tomorrow for both Brewers warm-up and Brewers Extra Innings. Brewers fall 5-3 in what will be, at least as of now, the biggest series of the season for the Crew. They fall to 6.5 games back of the Cubs, but an opportunity to respond tomorrow with the rookie phenom, Jacob Misiorowski, on the mound for the Crew. And then Thursday, midday game, 1:20 first pitch. Freddie Peralta will have the ball for Pat Murphy's squad. It always stinks losing to a rival, and this was a game that felt winnable for the Brewers. 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 9 on throughout the night. They had multiple opportunities. The Ivy came into play for both sides multiple times. Jackson Churio in the 9th inning, off the essentially the top of the Ivy, about as close to out of Wrigley Field as you possibly could be. Would have pulled the Brewers within 1, 5-4 in the 9th, but too little and too late for the Milwaukee Brewers, who are now 39-35 on the season. Chad Patrick takes the loss. 3-7 on the year now, but that doesn't speak to how good he's actually been. His record at 3-7. He was good tonight. Good might be strong, but he was solid tonight for the Brewers. And you just heard Pat Murphy in his post game interview. You know, he thought he was good tonight. It's just some bad situations, some untimely things, and ultimately it leads to a loss. And that obviously big home run early in the game from Suzuki the 3-run shot that ultimately gave the Chicago Cubs the lead, and they never looked back. That does it for us tonight. Thanks to Matt Yazel for running the show. Thanks to Jerry Augustine. This has been Brewers Extra Innings.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud part